It's now time to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world. Emmanuel Efene will take us through the top stories.
Yes, Ruben. As usual, we'll start with this, the Nigeria's newspaper of record. Before the lead story, we just look at the story above the lead. Police assassination plot against ex-speaker Dogara true. Say a suspect has confessed to plan. Disclose further investigation ongoing. It's a good thing the police is on top of that situation, because the last thing we want to hear in the midst of the politicking and campaigns that will commence next month is for any major political figure to be assassinated. We had that in the past. So many unresolved assassinations happened in the past. But I think it is better to just avoid and avert a situation where somebody is assassinated. And it's a good thing the police has confirmed that indeed there was a plot to assassinate former Speaker Yakubu Dogara, and that somebody has been arrested, has confessed to the plan, and they are carrying out further investigation. And we hope all those who are involved in this plot will be brought to book before long. Now, the lead story at NBA conference, Atiku, Obi, Shettima decry state of Nigeria, Proffer solutions. PDP presidential candidate pledges to unveil draft constitutional amendments on day one. Labour Party presidential candidate says 2023 election not about tribe, religion, but competent. Yes. And APC VP candidate will create Lagos experience all over the country. That's the promise from the APC ticket. Now, the Vanguard newspaper also reporting this story at NBA Summit. Our plans for Nigeria by Atiku, Tinubu, Obi. I will devolve more powers to the state government. Atiku, Tinubu will replicate Lagos, Borno wonders in Nigeria. Shettima, 2023 elections not about religion, but character competence. Now, below the photograph, on the front page of Vanguard, PDP crisis. Wike, others jet out for critical meeting, according to a source. Yes, the unresolved issues between Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers State, who has amassed some clout within the party to the extent that there's now the Wike wing of the PDP. And of course, the presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, they are still talking, yet to come to any truce. Because I know once there's a truce, Nyesom Wike will announce it perhaps at his next project commission. And if there is none, of course, we'll also hear from him when he's from commissioning his next project. Now, the leadership newspaper, the lead story, Atiku, Obi, Shettima, others, test ground at NBA conference. The Guardian newspaper, Decry decries leadership deficit as candidates unveil 2023 agenda. For talking about Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who gave the keynote address at the NBA conference. Atiku, everything negative is happening in Nigeria. Yes, APC will replicate Lagos Borno wonders, says Shettima. Falana urges lawyers to end illegal arrest, detention of citizens. Now, if we look at the Daily Trust newspaper, the same lead story from the NBA conference, Atiku, Shettima, Obi Proffer solutions to Nigeria's problem. While the Nation also used that as their lead story. Tinubu, Atiku, Obi roll out plans on economy, security. Now, also on the front page of the Nation newspaper, no work, no pay rule. NLC backs ASU on salary arrears. Pay lecturers to end strike. Labour urges government. Well, that's still a key issue on the negotiation between ASU and the federal government. Yes, many are saying 6 months, you have not worked, how can the government pay you? And of course, the Minister of Education, Adamu, citing extant law, labor law, saying that is what the federal government is going to do to dissuade future persons embarking on such long strike in future. Because, come to think of it, if I can be on strike for 8 months and I come back and I get on my salary, why will I not be obstinate and insist that everything must be granted before I call off my strike? But perhaps if the federal government sticks to its gun and say no payment, you go back to work, 6 months you're on strike, no payment, perhaps next time some other persons within the ASU will say, hold on, how long is this strike going to last? Because I don't want to be shortchanged for as much as 6 months again. Well, that is the situation for now. Now, the Daily Independent newspaper, the lead story will be Atiku, Tinubu reel out solutions to ailing economy, others. But above, just below the photograph, foreign airlines, $464 million blocked funds crisis being resolved. The federal government is giving the assurance, and of course, there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of days over the aviation sector. So it's good to know that the federal government wants to find a solution, because it will be a big tragedy for Nigerian aviation sector to crumble, and Nigerians traveling to small countries like Ghana, Benin, to board flight where things seem to be working better. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper, security, ISWAP leader, others feared killed in NAF raid as fighter jets bombard more terrorist strongholds in Sambisa forest. Yes, then the New Telegraph newspaper also reporting this story. NAF, Nigerian Air Force bombs ISWAP leader Sambisa hideout, killed scores as military, paramilitary states, MDAs join forces to tackle terror attacks in school. No country can fund all her security needs. Sekibo, insecurity, Yuguda absolves Buhari of blame. I wonder anybody can still absolve President Muhammadu Buhari of blame when that was one of the linchpin on which he came to power as a former general, a former military head of state. Many believe, yes, if we elect President Muhammadu Buhari, insecurity will be dealt with in a matter of months, not years. But now, in the twilight of the Buhari administration, somebody is saying we shouldn't blame Buhari for insecurity. Well, if he's not able to solve the problem, Nigeria will remember President Muhammadu Buhari that Nigeria appears to be more insecure now than when he became president in 2015. The Business Day newspaper quickly, subsidy gobs Nigerians' oil income as Norway reaps profit. Yes, Nigeria about the only oil-producing country that is suffering in the midst of oil boom, the high price of oil, crude oil in the international market. Other countries are smiling to the bank, making so much money. One foreign newspaper quickly, the Times of London, spiraling inflation is forecast to hit 18%. Of course, the Citibank Group won in there, and of course there will be so much pressure on the Bank of England to do something. How far can the Bank of England go on this matter remains to be seen. Ruben?
Well, I mean, the Bank of England, chairman has made it very clear that interest rates will go up. What is new is the Citigroup, the investment bank, saying that, look, by January, the Bank of England will have no option but to go as far as 18%. It will not only be the highest.
No, that's the inflation.
The inflation rate, yes.
Yes.
It will not only be the highest rate of inflation since, was it 1709, right? It will also be the worst situation in terms of inflationary rate in the whole of Europe, right? Or the OECD countries, to put it that way, and the G7 countries altogether. And so, what it means in real terms is that life will be harder for people in Britain. Already, people are saying, that they are not likely to be able to pay upfront energy bills, with a cap rising up to about £3,500 pounds. Already, the energy suppliers themselves are appealing to Ofcom that by next month, there should be a policy in place for people to be compensated if they don't use electricity between 1700 hours and 2000 hours. Now, can you imagine people living in Britain without electricity in winter? And analysts have said, look, you are likely to have increase in death rates. The NHS itself is overstretched. So it's just serious hardship. And it's not only in the UK that people are facing these challenges. People face it, the same challenges all over the world.
Yeah.
Which was why I was making the point yesterday. With the threat expressed by the Russian permanent representative to the UN based in Geneva, that, look, there's no end in sight with regard to bilateral negotiations or diplomacy in addressing the Russian-Ukraine problem. It means that things would get worse before they can at any point get better. Now, the other thing that you raised...
Well, inflation all over the world, but some countries mitigate the effect better than others.
They do, like
Yes.
Canada, where
Yes.
inflation is 8.1%. And we're told that in Canada now, there is some kind of recovery.
Even in France,
Yes,
a lot being done for the
But you
citizens.
see, in those countries, the variables, the indicators, the managers of the economy, they have control over them. They have basic statistics that they can work with. They can, do scenario building, projections, and all of that. And which was, I asked the question the other day when we had a guest, was it on this program or another program? Now, why is it that the same measures that seem to work in other parts of the world don't work here? The MPR, the MPC of Nigeria, the Monetary Policy Committee, took a decision in May to increase, the monetary policy rate. Months after, we have not seen any difference. They tried the same measure in Ghana. It has not worked. So the difference is that, look, in many of these developing countries, the indicators do not behave the same way that they behave in other countries. Is it Zimbabwe, where inflation rate is already 257%? How high are you going to raise the interest rate to say you want to tighten the economy, reduce consumption,
Yes.
increase the cost of purchasing, bring down consumption or demand? Okay, so this is the problem we face. The other issue that I wanted to bring up as a prelude to our next encounter with Olumide Akwata, the president of the SAN, was a call by Femi Falana SAN, which you referred to in one of the stories, that the NBA conference should focus on illegal detention. Well, I think it's an important call. After all, the main mission, motto of the Nigerian Bar Association is the rule of law. And it has a duty to defend the rule of law. Femi Falana SAN was also talking in welcoming members of, all the branches, 125 branches of the Nigerian Bar Association in Nigeria to Lagos. Was also talking about the Anti-Torture Act of 2017, the need to curb torture of persons, many of whom may in fact end up being innocent.
Innocent, yeah.
And saying that, look, the NBA should monitor, how magistrates visit many of these detention centers and how they can exercise the prerogative of ensuring that the rule of law is not violated. Very important call. However, when Olumide Akwata gets here, as he would, according to our schedule this morning, I would like to ask him, to what extent also is the NBA under his watch defending the rule of law? Because there is an unsettled matter involving the General Secretary of the NBA, Joyce Udua, I think, whose suspension the National Executive Council of the NBA recently suspended. Whereas there is a case pending in court restraining the NBA or the National Executive Council of the NBA from resorting to self-help. So an organization...
That suspension has been confirmed?
Yes, by the National Executive Council. So
you say in violation of court order? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, these are lawyers. If there's a proceeding in court, you cannot jump ahead of the court. You maintain the status quo and allow the court to act accordingly. And I'm quoting passages, I don't want to waste our time, from a statement by Okutepa, SAN, addressing this particular problem. So a body that is going to defend the rule of law, the interests, the rights of persons who may have been illegally detained, should also not be seen to be contradicting the fundamental principles of its own existence. But that's another matter.
Ruben, when Akpata will be here.
Yes.
You don't shave a man's head in his absence.
No, I'm not shaving.
As FQ will put it, he will answer that question when he comes here.
I wouldn't do that. And I saw the participation of the presidential candidates at the NBA conference, 62nd annual general conference opening ceremony yesterday. I noticed that on social media, so much attention has been devoted to the dressing of the representative of the APC, Kashim Shettima. People were saying he was wearing the wrong type of shoes. Some people were saying he buttoned up while sitting down. In fact, some people have said he wore a suit that looked like it was put together by a carpenter. Nigerians are very interesting people. I mean, the man was making serious contributions. He was trying to tell us what he and his principal would do were they to be voted for in 2023. But half of the people, commenting on it, they were focusing on his pair of shoes.
No, Robert, when you are not used to seeing somebody wearing suits, the first thing is to look, does it fit him and all that? So I'm not sure. We had better get used to it. But better get used to it.
Okay, maybe you two will take a lesson from that.
Yes,
you should not wear coat. You should wear suit. Because somebody said, he looked like he was wearing coat. I don't know the difference between
Ruben, when many of our friends, viewers, they saw me on Agbada in Owa, they were surprised.
I was shocked too.
You also wear Agbada?
No, you and Joseph Wishagale, the way people were doing like you have made some billions. I said, look at these characters.
Okay. They only used to see me on suit on TV.
Anyway, that's just on the lighter side.